Did you start your day with a cup of coffee? Millions of Americans did. But is it healthy? Is too much harmful for us? We are joined now by Dr. Philip Caravella, author of Wait No Longer, the prescription for amazing fitness and living. And we're going to talk more about our daily cup of joe. Okay, doctor. I went online and I said, is coffee good for me? And it said yes, and then it said no. Is it good for us?
It's absolutely the best drink that an adult can drink on a daily basis.
Now, why do you say that?
Well, because it has so many different health benefits, and nothing else even comes close to it, such as tea, and certainly decaf does not. But coffee, basically, in research, it's been shown to decrease the incidence of all-cause mortality across the board. Everything gets better when you drink coffee, and that would be by approximately 16%, which is substantial.
And you're basing this on a lot of different studies, right?
A lot of research, yes.
Okay. Now, I drink decaf. So have I just blown out all the benefits of coffee by drinking decaf?
Pretty much.
Well, I shouldn't even bother?
Yeah. The only benefit you get is it will lower your incidence or some difficulties with type 2 diabetes. That's it. Otherwise, you've pretty much eliminated everything else.
So is it just the caffeine? Is that what the elixir?
There's a lot of things in coffee that we don't really understand how they work. It's just that in studies, we see the differences in populations. You know, so for example, it lowers the risk of breast cancer substantially in women who drink 4 cups a day.
Wow.
And they've done this in studies over thousands of people, and it's fairly clear. And this is true in many, many other areas.
What about in the way that we brew our coffee? Does that make a difference?
It's very important. When you brew coffee, it should be brewed using a paper filter. Now, the reason for that, if it's brewed in any other way, well, the paper filter will eliminate a substance from the coffee that will lower your good cholesterol, lower your bad cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol.
Okay.
So, in a sense, it does not reduce your risk of heart disease, therefore. So if you have a paper filter, it will improve your chances of not developing a heart attack or heart disease.
Okay.
Whereas if you don't use a paper filter, then you've reduced that particular problem.
Most people are just using those pods these days. I mean, a lot of people still use the filter, but a lot of people just pop in that pod, so...
Well, then you lose a substantial amount of benefit. In fact, the #1 cause for death among women and men are heart attacks, and you've eliminated that by using anything other than a paper filter.
Okay, so we need our paper filter. Is there too much of a good thing, possibly?
As far as coffee goes?
Yeah.
Well, most of the benefits are dose-related. The higher the dose, the better. The only exception to that, and it's kind of odd, in a perfect world, men would drink 6 cups of coffee a day to lower their risk of prostate cancer. But the funny thing is, when they go beyond 6 cups, it actually increases their risk.
Okay, so there is a cutoff.
Well, the magic number for men in prostate cancer is 6 cups. Now, for most conditions, women benefit by 4 cups a day.
Okay.
2 to 3 should be a minimum.
Now, what about Alzheimer's? I've heard that there is a correlation there.
There is a correlation. It does seem to diminish the incidence of Alzheimer's. It's not as clear-cut as it is in many of the other conditions, but it definitely does make a difference.
Okay, so right now we were looking at type 2 diabetes. It can help. Alzheimer's, it can help because there is some evidence of that. Lowering the risk of cardiovascular disease.
Yes.
My gosh.
And many cancers.
Of course, it enhances your performance because it amps you up.
It does. Actually, athletes perform better at a higher caliber. Their reaction time is quicker. Concentration is better. Even that's true of assembly line workers, too. They make fewer mistakes if they drink coffee. Pilots fly better if they're on coffee than if they're not on coffee.
What about what we're putting in our coffee, though?
Well, that's the problem. Here's the thing. In a perfect world, you would drink black coffee. Now, once you start to add cream and half, well, worse than that, all of these other different types of beverages that people can find at coffee houses that add a lot of sugar and calories, now you're ruining the whole... Well, you're not ruining it. You still get the benefits of the coffee, but now you're putting on weight.
Right.
So you want to avoid that as much as possible. Having said that, it turns out that people who drink coffee, let's say that you're used to drinking other beverages that have a lot of calories in them, okay? If you get rid of those beverages and go to coffee, probably your weight would come down. So it's an indirect effect of losing weight by switching to coffee.
All right, well, get me some coffee. I'm back on the job. Dr. Philip Caravella, thank you very much for coming in today.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
Cheers
Thank you,
to you.
And to you.
Jerry, over to you.